Let's talk corporates. Ravi Uppal, Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of JSPL, joins us to talk about the implications of the deallocation of 11 capital coal blocks and how will that change life for the entire power sector. Ravi, good morning and thank you for joining us. Before I get into specifics about JSPL, walk us through the implications that if indeed 11 captive coal blocks are deallocated, how will that change fortunes for the Indian power sector?
Well, that I cannot speak for everybody's case, but that the mines which have been deallocated in case of Jindal, one of these mines was given to us for mining these nearly 4 years ago, and since then we have not been able to come into this area even to carry out exploration, because the whole area has been sort of seen some kind of civil unrest, and there has been Naxal activity, so we were not able to come into that area and carry on with our exploration activities. So we were completely prevented from doing that, and we had not started any, sort of downstream project which was linked to this mine getting operational. We made the best of efforts, and still we were not able to do it. We brought to the attention of the authorities, and therefore it has no impact as such on our immediate thing. And of course, the future project that was linked with it, was based on this. So that was one, and the second one was a path-breaking new project which is based on coal to liquid. That is something where we were taking initiative. It involves huge amount of investment, and it's a kind of project of its own kind in the country. We had done first part of it for our Angul project just now. We have experience for it. And there again, that government had even to sign the memorandum of understanding with us, even after they announced their intention to give this to us. So there's a lot of activity at the governmental end, which came in the way of taking this further. So I don't think that there's any way that Jindal can be blamed for it. So I don't think it has any immediate impact, but the sad part is that these projects, they could have been of their own kind for the first time, and they would have been good for the country. I think coal to liquid is a project that must be taken up, whether we do it or someone else does it, because our country, the largest import bill happens to be petroleum. So if we can convert our low quality coal into gas and into petroleum, I think that will provide much needed respite to the oil sector.
So, Mr. Uppal, if you could reiterate for us, what would be the financial impact if indeed these three, blocks are deallocated?
Well, as I said, none of these projects is operation. We were not able to do even the exploration activity, which is the first step. So therefore, there's no question of assessing the financial impact. Well, you can only say qualitatively that a project like a thermal power project linked to the Amarkonda mine, that cannot be taken up right now. And likewise, coal to liquid project also. We wouldn't be able to proceed. We had done a lot of work. The complete design engineering was done. But I can't give you any financial impact because we don't know in what form it would have taken shape. This could have been said only after we have a firm commitment from government on the allocation of the coal, which was not done.
Based on these three initial allotments, I am sure you must have planned your capacity, you must have planned your capex. But now it appears that this source of fuel is going to dry up. So how are you going to take a hit? The hit may not be financial because these plants are not operational, but in the overall scheme of things, I'm sure this is a setback.
First, let me say that, this kind of cancellation, is not legally correct. Because the JSPL, if they have not been able to move to the extent they wanted to do, it's not because of our reasons. It's because of reason external to us. So, and the second is that we are for the moment quite busy executing our various projects, whether it's in the power domain or in the steel domain. So I would say in the short to medium run, we have a good amount of activity. But of course, these projects would have been of strategic importance to the country. I feel sad that we have not been able to let go with it, and it's a loss of the nation, besides being a loss for the country.
How easy will it be for JSPL to switch from coal to gas?
Well, Joe, that I'm very happy to tell you that the country's first, the coal to gas using natural coal with high ash content is being commissioned by us. In 10 days from now, we'll start producing the coal gas, which is 225,000 cubic meter per hour. So we already have gained experience. We already have gone through the rough because this whole technology is being implemented for the first time in this country, and it's the second plant of its kind in the world. So we have already put nearly more than 2,500 crores of money to get this kind of plant commissioned.
How are you benefiting because of the import substitution trade? If I look at the Bloomberg data for the month of October, Indian steel companies have produced a lot of steel. In fact, the steel production was at a record high.
Well, the steel has been produced. There are two issues we're talking here. How is it would have affected us? Well, when you produce the syngas from this low quality coal, it's basically a replacement of natural gas which is being used for us to produce a DRI. Natural gas, as you know, is unaffordable. There's no gas available, and even if you get imported gas, it's costing you something like $14 to $15 per MBTU landed, which makes it completely unaffordable. But if you take a coal and convert it, then you get into a range where it makes sense, economic sense, to produce DRI using the gas. So therefore, our decision to go ahead with what we normally call the coal gasification plant, CGP, was basically driven by the economics. And I think the good thing is that we are using local coal with ash content up to 40% to produce an equivalent of a natural gas in our own country. So that's one. The number two question that you're asking is about the production of steel. Well, yes, there has been an upsurge in the volume of steel which is produced, but that is not to suggest that the market has also grown at the same time. Generally after post rains and post festival season, the market shows an upward trend. But unfortunately, in the last 20 days since Diwali, the market still looks to be flat and a bit sluggish, particularly for the flat products. The long products have shown some upward movement. If I have to summarize, that is up to end of October this year, the total production has increased by 2.8%, whereas the demand has gone up. Whereas the demand in domestic market has gone up only by 1%. Thankfully, there has been some good prospects from the export market. So a lot of producers are focusing on the export market to make sure they don't end up building stocks and the volume continues to grow.